Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway.
Oh, command me, Lord. Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
I'll have what she's having.
You have chosen wisely.
It reminds us of all that once was good. And it could be again.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
You're listening to the 30-something Movie Podcast. Classic movies, 30 years in the making. Hello and welcome once again to the 30-something Movie Podcast. I do not have my usual crew with me tonight, but I do have one slightly smaller friend. What's your name, slightly smaller friend?
Nora.
Can you tell the people who don't know you who Nora is?
I'm your daughter. I'm my dad's daughter.
You're your dad's daughter? That
yeah,
works out well.
I'm your daughter.
I understand. Yeah. So anyway, for people that may have heard you before, you've been on a Labyrinth episode, you've been on a Lego movie episode, and maybe a couple of other ones. What's been going on with your life lately?
I've been on spring break, and I moved from the middle floor to the basement. So that was really fun.
You moved bedrooms.
Yeah. It was fun.
You got a slightly bigger room.
Now I'm farthest away from my brother.
Okay.
On 2 floors.
That works out well.
Yeah!
Okay. You also have the piano is in your room now, so you can practice whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And Mom and Dad got a library in the deal.
Yes.
We turned your old bedroom into a very fancy library.
It's not actually that fancy.
It's super fancy.
No.
It has a library rug in it. And everything.
I hate to break it to you, but I don't even know what a library rug is.
It's the rug we have in the library. It's very library-esque. Library-ish.
That library-esque isn't a word, and library-ish isn't a word, you're not a librarian yet.
I'm an English teacher, so I can make up words.
That doesn't make an excuse.
Yeah, sure it does. So anyway, we should probably talk about movies.
Yeah.
Okay, because the people that came here want to hear about movies.
Yes.
So we're going to do a quick little episode on a movie that we just saw. What movie did we go see about maybe like a week and a half, a couple weeks ago at this point?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Did you love Captain Marvel?
Yeah, except for one part.
Except for one part? We can talk about that later. So don't say anything just yet.
Okay, spoiler.
Okay, so yes, spoiler alert. Do you want to say spoiler alert? Tell people that we're going to...
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So spoiler alert, if you're going to watch the movie soon, you might notice this. Take caution when you're walking down the streets.
Okay.
And
or when you're
see
listening. Hold on. Just in general, we're just going to tell people if they haven't seen the movie yet, maybe don't listen to this if they don't want to be spoiled.
Yes.
And then watch the movie and come back.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Okay. So
that's what I do whenever John says something.
Okay. So you think people are pretty safe now to listen if they want to?
Yes.
They've had fair warning?
Yes.
Okay.
You've had fair warning, so don't blame us if you
go
far into the episode and find that you have been spoiled.
That will happen. So very, very quickly, if you want more about our show, go to 30podcast.com. That's our website. You can find all the different ways to listen to our show and find all of our past shows, all 230 some of them. So there's a lot.
Well, at least it's 230 because you're a 30-something movie podcast, people. Yeah.
Well, that's slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah.
This is episode number 234, so we're talking Captain Marvel. So why don't we don't have any new movie news this time. We're just going to jump on in and talk about some Captain Marvel stuff. And then I think at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about C2E2 that was in Chicago, because you and I went on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then our whole family went on Sunday. So we'll talk about that after we talk about the movie.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totes.
All right. So, totes. Totes my goats. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying totes.
Oh, just totes. Just totes. Totes my goats.
Dad, you're embarrassing me.
Well, That's what I do. All right, so the movie this time is Captain Marvel. It came out on the 8th of March, 2019, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 3 minutes, directed by co-directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who both did Sugar and Half Nelson. Kevin Feige has done everything Marvel. He was the producer. Writers on this one were a combination of Anna Boden, Ryan Fleck, Geneva Robertson-Dwart, Nicole Perlman, and Meg LaFauve. Robertson-Dwart did Tomb Raider, Perlman did Guardians of the Galaxy and Detective Pikachu, and apparently the new Labyrinth movie. I just saw that. LaFauve did Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur. Cinematography was done by Ben Davis, who did Doctor Strange and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Music was done by Pinar Toprak, who was also the composer for the video game Fortnite and the TV series Krypton.
Wait, Fortnite?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
I didn't tell you that. I didn't know that until just earlier.
Wow.
So
That just blew my mind.
It blew your mind? There you go. Okay. Budget for this one was 150 to 175 million, and box office so far is 990.6 million, so almost $1 billion.
Yeah,
and
that's
it hasn't even been out a month yet.
Wow, that's like.
That's
well,
pretty
let's
crazy.
see. That's about.
It's about $1 billion.
90 years of my allowance for the box office.
Be a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reviews for this one, Rotten Tomato Critics gives it a 78%. Sorry, Rotten Tomatoes Audience gives it a 60%. IMDb gives it a 72%. Letterboxd gives it a 70%. And Cinema Score gives it an A.
I give it an A+.
You give it an A+? All right. Well, you can tell me more about that in just a minute. Starring Brie Larson as Carol Danvers, Veers, and Captain Marvel. She was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and Room. Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury. He was in Pulp Fiction and Snakes on a Plane.
Ew.
That
I don't like snakes.
Yes, you do. You've always liked snakes.
The only reason why is because I saw like this huge snake at C2E2.
Right. You've always liked snakes.
What?
And that movie,
huge.
that movie is exactly what it is. It's a bunch of snakes get loose on an airplane while people are up in the air. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
No.
We can watch it someday if you want to. No, when you're older.
Yes, thank you.
Ben Mendelsohn played Talos, or Keller. He was in Ready Player One and Rogue One, so he's only in movies that have the word one in them, unless he's in Captain Marvel, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel 1.
Captain Marvel 1.
Captain Marvel 1. There you go.
Yeah.
And she did. Yeah. Jude Law played Jan Rog. He was in Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow and the Sherlock Holmes movies.
I want to see the Sherlock Holmes, but you won't let me.
You've never asked to see them.
Yeah, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
We're not arguing about it. You've never asked me. Annette Bening played the Supreme Intelligence, Dr. Wendy Lawson, and Marvell. She was in The American President and The Great Outdoors. Lashana Lynch played Maria Rambeau. She was in Fast Girls and a TV series called Bulletproof. Clark Gregg was Agent Coulson. He was in Avengers and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Rune Tempt was in, he was Braun Char. He was in The Last Kingdom and Fortitude. Gemma Chan was Minerva. She was in Humans, the TV series, and the movie Mary, Queen of Scots. I think it's Algenis Perez Soto played Atlas. He was in Sugar and Isolated Victim. Jimon Hansu played Korath. He was in Gladiator and In America. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, playing the same character.
Well, then why didn't you write that down?
I just didn't write that down. I can remember things, too.
Okay.
Lee Pace played Ronan. He was also Ronan, the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was in the Hobbit movies. And Akira Akbar played Monica Rambeau. She was in Criminal Minds and This Is Us. Here's the trailer, and we'll be back in just a second.
So, Skrulls are the bad guys. And you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors.
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Your life began the day it nearly ended. We found you with no memory. We made you one of us so you could live longer, stronger, superior. You were reborn.
I keep having these memories. Something in my past is the key to all of this.
You you know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Would you like to know what you really are?
I think I had a life here.
What aren't you telling me?
You've come a long way, but you're not as strong as you think. This war is just the beginning.
I'm not gonna fight your war. I'm gonna end it.
Aren't you the cutest little thing? Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's cute? I'll be back.
Okay, so we're just going to talk real quick. This is not going to be a very long episode. We just want to talk for a little bit about the movie because we just saw it. It just came out, and you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So this was a couple things about this movie. This was the first Marvel movie that had a woman as the lead character. So it took them long enough.
Yeah.
Right? They finally had somebody that was... Wonder Woman was the one from DC. She already had her movie where she was the lead character in it.
But it's Marvel.
But Marvel, right? So this is the first Marvel movie. I think they're going to have a Black Widow movie sometime soon.
Yay.
So that could be
Wait,
kind of cool.
didn't they do that? Or...
No, she's been in a bunch of movies, but she's never had her own movie where she's the main person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, we went to go see this in the theater, just you and me, because usually it's me and brother that go see the superhero movies.
Yep.
And
you gave me a chance.
Yes, I gave you a chance. I figured this one you would enjoy going to see in the theater. So, in the movie, Captain Marvel, she's not Captain Marvel at first. We start off some scenes and she's just kind of part of a team and they're kind of training her and you don't really know at first if she's a human, but you get a whole bunch of flashbacks in the movie where you find out that she might have been a human and they found her and gave her some of their blood, the Kree people.
Yeah.
And what are the bad guys' names?
The bad guys' names are Skrulls.
Skrulls. And what can Skrulls do?
Skrulls can shapeshift into people. I don't know if they can turn into animals, but in the movie they can shift shape into people.
Yeah, so they can look like anybody.
Yeah, like, spoiler alert, in one of the scenes, Nick Fury is driving to, I forget where, but he's driving, and there's another person in the car.
It's Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson.
His partner, yeah.
And then Agent Coulson calls him, and the Agent Coulson...
Like the real Agent Coulson calls him on the phone.
Yeah.
And he looks
from
over
the
at the guy
lot.
next to him in the car who is looking like Agent Coulson and realizes...
He's not
That's not
Agent
him.
Coulson.
Yeah.
And then he... what's his name again?
Which one?
Not Nick Fury, the other guy.
Agent Coulson?
Agent Coulson
Yeah.
punches Nick Fury and
Yeah, like they get into a car accident and...
Yeah.
And you have the scene...
totally awesome.
That's when Captain Marvel, Veers is her name at that point.
Veers.
And she comes to Earth. She kind of crashes on Earth, and it's the 1990s, and she crashes in a Blockbuster Video. And then she has to go chasing some Skrulls, and she ends up on the train. And one of the first times that you see him is there's a Skrull, and that was in the preview for the movie. A Skrull kind of makes themselves look like an old woman on the train.
If they see them, then they can shapeshift into them. That old lady was getting off the train, and that's probably how she knew, because the real old grandma person was getting off the train, and then she walked into one of the train cars, and she turned, and there was that grandma, the same exact thing, wearing the same exact clothes, and then she smiled really oddly, and it did not seem like a human, I promise you. And then Captain Marvel slapped her.
Yeah.
And then she turned around, and while she did that, she growled like...
She kind of growled. And usually grandmas don't growl.
And then she did an aerial and then kicked Captain Marvel. Oh, and an aerial is a no-handed cartwheel.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was,
Okay.
And then a bunch of the people in the car.
Has your grandma ever growled at you?
No.
So grandmas don't usually growl?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was kind of a new thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get the idea that the Skrulls, they can look like whoever they want to look like.
Yep.
And there's some kind of a war going on between the Kree and the Skrulls. It's bad news. Bad news bears.
Bad news bears.
Mm-hmm. And so she crashes to Earth, and she's kind of stranded there for the time being. But then she starts to discover from some flashbacks and some other things that happen, she starts to discover that she's originally from Earth.
Yeah.
And that she had a whole life on Earth as a pilot with her friend.
I think in the Navy.
With her friend Maria. I think it was her friend's name. Yeah, her daughter's name was Monica, I think it was. Yeah. Maria Rambo was her name. Not Rambo like the guy with the machine guns in the other movie, but you haven't seen that movie. Yeah, different Rambo. So she realizes that she's a pilot. She starts to find out a little bit more about her life, but Nick Fury is also helping her out, so they kind of become friends.
Yeah.
And at one point, she's hanging out with Nick Fury, and at the maybe at kind of like one of the bases where they had done the top secret project that she was helping work on, there was this cute little cat named Goose.
No, not Goose.
Not Goose.
I don't like him.
Oh, Goose is so cute.
No, he is.
Nick Fury thought he was cute. You remember he would get down there, he's a good boy. He's so cute.
Okay, so can I give out the spoiler alert?
Maybe. I mean, Goose is... Well, let's start by saying that as the movie goes on, when other aliens show up, like the other Skrulls show up, they are terrified of this cat.
Yes, they are terrified of it.
And Nick Fury is carrying this cat around, and he's just like, oh, you're so cute. And he's like petting him, and he's getting him right up in his face.
And then the Skrulls are like, what are you doing? That's a flirkin.
Yeah.
And then, so towards the end, spoiler alert, you realize that it's a flirkin, all right. It's not a regular cat. And all of a sudden, so these, the Tesseract in the lunchbox.
Well, so the Tesseract from what movie?
The one with Thanos. I forget what it's
Well, yeah, but from the original Avengers movie.
Not Endgame, because that hasn't come out yet.
Right. The Tesseract that shows up in the original Avengers movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was in Captain America.
Captain America, yeah.
So all those different movies. It's in a lunchbox at this point.
Yeah, it's in a lunchbox. And
they find out that that's what's powering part of the engine.
Yes.
That the Marvel, the Kree scientist, was working on.
Yeah, that's how you get Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel.
And that's how Veers, or Carol Danvers, she finds out her name was, that's how she gets her powers, because the engine that had some of the Tesseract power in it, or had the Tesseract in it, it exploded.
Yeah.
And the energy kind of went into her.
And that's how she became so strong.
And so she got her cosmic energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, okay, so this is the huge spoiler alert, and if you don't like cats, stay with that. So, it's really a flirkin because, so the Tesseract, I can't remember fully, but I think...
Well, there's a point at which some people, they're trying to run away with the Tesseract, and there's a point at which some of the... Well, you kind of find out partway through the movie that the Skrulls are not the bad guys.
Yeah.
Who are the bad guys?
The Krees are the bad guys.
Yeah, they were doing bad stuff. At least the Jan Rog guy was a bad guy.
Yep.
And you find out some of the Kree are not all that great either, because who else is a Kree? Do you remember the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Ronan,
because he's also a Kree. Remember in that one, he's a bad dude. And so some of the Kree, this is before Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
So some of the Kree are still not doing great stuff.
Yeah. So
you find out, so the Skrulls now are the good guys, and they're kind of on the run. And the Kree are showing up.
Yeah.
And they're trying to kill everybody, or they're trying to get the Tesseract, and they're trying to get Carol Danvers back and all this other stuff. And so some of the Kree go to attack them, and Nick Fury has Goose with him, and what does Goose do?
So Goose, the flirkin, I repeat, flirkin.
Not a cat.
Not a cat.
Even though he looks like an orange cat.
Yeah, he looks like a regular cat.
Kind of like Garfield.
tentacles, like octopus tentacles, start coming out of his mouth, and they're huge, and then it grabs the Tesseract, and it swallows it.
Well, he eats like 5 people.
And he eats 5 Kree.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie...
To help defend the good guys,
Yeah, but I'm still a little horrified of cats now.
Well, normal cats don't do that.
Yeah, only Flurkins. So, at the end of the movie, in the credits...
Well, so they do, to keep the Tesseract safe, they give it to Goose.
Yes.
And Goose swallows it.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the... Okay, well...
Yeah, so you get to the end of the movie, so the funny part with that is he's swallowed it, and he's had it in his stomach the entire time at the end.
And then credits...
one of the post-credits scenes,
yeah.
What happens to Goose? He's sitting on Nick Fury's desk, and what does he do?
And all of a sudden... He looks like he's gonna cough out a hairball, and all of a sudden he coughs out the Tesseract, and it's all slobbery, and it's super disgusting.
Super gross.
Oh, and in the middle, this is how Nick Fury always got his eye.
Oh, yeah.
With an eye patch.
You find out how he lost his eye?
Goose scratched him on the eye. That's why. And he never admitted it, because it was too, embarrassing.
And a Flurkin scratch is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so that was kind of the movie in a nutshell. And Captain Marvel, I don't remember if they ever call her Captain Marvel in the movie. I don't think they do.
They don't.
No. But what you do find out is that she hasn't really had her full powers until the end, because they had this little thing that was in the back of her neck.
Yeah.
And they were kind of keeping her powers from being as full as they could be. And they just always told her, well, you're not...
she tore it out.
She tore it out in that part, but they always kept telling her, they're like, well, you're just not good enough. You're just not... You need to calm down. You need to train more. And then she found out, well, wait a minute. You're keeping me from getting all my powers. And then she kind of pulls it out and smashes it. And all of a sudden, she's like super powerful now.
Yeah.
And she can bust through everything.
And she can fly into space. Mm-hmm.
And so one of the other parts after the credits, one of the scenes that you see is you have the Avengers are working on, they get that little pager device that she had given Nick Fury in the 1990s. And remember at the end of Infinity War, he pushed a button to call her. It was like an emergency call. Yeah. And her symbol showed up on the little pager.
Yes.
And so in the credits scene, you have the Avengers are working on it. They don't know what it is, but they found it. And they were trying to figure out where the signal was going and who it was calling. And all of a sudden, they all turn around, and she's standing there.
Yeah.
And she says something like, "Where's Fury?"
Yeah.
And so you find out she's going to be helping out in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's coming out just in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's kind of the basics of the story, that she kind of becomes the super powerful good guy in the end. She gets her full powers, and she goes and pretty much kicks all the Kree butt. And
you said butt.
I did. And she saves the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it turns out that on the thing that Marvel had in space, the Skrulls family was there. So that's why they were trying to do that.
Yeah. She kind of found out that her own people were not very good.
And the main Skrull guy's wife said, Marvel told us not to call.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah. So that they
so
would
they couldn't communicate
stay
with
hidden
each
and
other,
stay
but they
safe.
knew that-
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's basically the movie. So do you have a favorite scene from the movie?
My favorite scene...
I want to say my favorite scene was when Goose coughed up the Tesseract on Nick Fury's desk. That was kind of gross, but...
You're disgusting.
Thank you.
I didn't
What was
say
your
that
favorite
as a
scene?
compliment. My favorite scene was... It was when Goose... Goose tried to... Well, he did, swallow up 5 men. But, all the guys, he swallowed all the guys. But I wonder... How do a bunch of guys fit into a Flurkin's stomach?
It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Yeah, or maybe a Flurkin's stomach smashes him up really tiny. Well, you asked me a question. I'm answering your question.
Not in
You wanted
not in a really fancy way.
You wanted to know. So I told you. That's my guess. That's how it works.
Well,
my favorite scene was probably when she got her full powers.
Yeah, that was
because then
really
she
cool.
really kind of she was blasting everybody, and she kind of
Yeah,
like
and she
started
was, like,
glowing and
her eyes started glowing.
Yeah.
Like this.
And I think I like even turned to you in the theater. I was like, oh, they messed with her now. Bad news for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character in the movie?
My favorite character was Goose.
Was Goose? Yeah. Even though you spent the entire car ride home, I'm terrified of cats. I don't ever want to see cats again.
He was kind of cute.
He's very cute.
He did eat the bad guys.
He did eat bad guys. He didn't eat good guys. He scratched Nick Fury, but
yeah,
you know,
that was funny.
Sometimes cats do that. Yeah. Okay. My favorite character.
Cats scratch famous Hollywood actors in eyes,
sometimes,
and then
maybe,
they lie about being scratched by a squirrel or like hit. Wow.
Maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't hang out with a lot of famous Hollywood actors. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you're a famous Hollywood,
no, I am.
You're not a famous Hollywood actor yet.
Yeah, I am.
Someday, maybe.
If
you are a famous Hollywood actor and you have been scratched in the eye by a flurkin, let us know, because we'd like to hear. If you're listening to the show and you've been scratched in the eye and you lost your eye because of a flurkin scratch, let us know. We'd be really curious. 30podcast@gmail.com or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or on Twitter. Internet. I don't know.
Twitter? That's not even a thing.
I'm trying to write
You're not even on
Facebook.
There.
You forget.
Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Let's see. Favorite character. I thought Captain Marvel was kind of cool. Yeah. I did like Nick Fury. He was really funny in the movie.
Yeah.
The other one I thought was kind of fun was it Telos was his name? He was the main Skrull. The Skrull guy. He was the same actor that was Director Krennic in Rogue One.
Director Krennic.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director Krennic.
No, let me say it.
Just
say the rest without saying Director Krennic.
Oh, you want me to say the first part?
Yeah.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations.
Director Krennic.
Yours is like a very dramatic Darth Vader.
Director Krennic.
Okay.
Director Krennic.
Now you're turning Australian.
Director Krennic.
To all of our Australian listeners, I really apologize for that impersonation. Okay. So what would you like to see Captain America? She's going to be in Avengers Endgame. Yeah. What would you like to see her do? You want to see her fight Thanos? Do you want to...
No. Ride a seagull like a riding horse.
Ride a seagull like a what?
Riding horse.
Like a riding horse. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe...
I'd like to see her fight Thanos.
I would like to see her poke at Thanos' eyeball like Goose.
You want to see her scratch Thanos' eye?
Yeah.
Maybe she feeds Thanos to Goose.
Feed me.
Maybe that's the end game plan. Maybe that's the end game plan. Maybe that's how they beat Thanos.
Yeah.
They let Goose loose, and he eats Thanos.
That's a really good idea, but then he can still snap.
Maybe. Ooh, I got an idea. What? Maybe they give Goose the Infinity Gauntlet, and it turns into a little gauntlet with claws, and he just scratches him with the Infinity Gauntlet. No?
Well, maybe, but okay. What if Goose isn't alive then?
Oh, I'm sure he would be. I don't know much about flurkins, but maybe they live for a long time. Who knows? We'll find out.
I hope that he lives as long as a mayfly, which lives 5 minutes.
Oh, poor Goose.
Haha.
I hope Goose is in the Avengers movie. Yeah. He could help him out. Hey, if we were going to have a pet, I might have a pet flurkin.
No.
Why not?
No.
We argued this in the car. He would take care of you. He would protect you.
I have fish.
Well, he probably wouldn't have fish when Goose was done with them, but...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like my fish.
Okay. All right. All right. Is there anything else we want to say about the movie? About Captain Marvel?
It was really good.
It was really good. If you had to give it a rating out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
4.99999999999.
So 5.
And a million more 9s.
Okay, so 5. I would probably give it 4 stars out of 5. Because it was good. It wasn't my favorite Marvel movie.
Why?
But it was still pretty good.
Which one was your favorite then?
Which one is my favorite out of all of them? I like the Captain America movies.
Yep.
I like Infinity War was pretty good.
Okay.
Black Panther was pretty good. I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I like Ant-Man.
Yeah. I've never seen Ant-Man.
Yes, you have.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, I haven't seen.
I thought you saw the first one.
No.
You sure?
John only told me about the Thomas.
Yeah.
The train crashed into a wall.
Okay, we'll watch it sometime.
I don't know.
I thought you'd seen that one. So, yeah, it's not my favorite one of the Marvel movies, but it was good. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, so, that was nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's all we got for Captain Marvel.
Okay.
All right. We did go, if anybody is interested in listening to this next part, we did go to C2E2, the really big comic book and entertainment show in Chicago at McCormick Place.
What does it stand for? I'm almost trying to tell me, but she didn't know what the two.
Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. Chicago Comic, 2 C's, and Entertainment Expo, 2 E's. C2E2.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
what it stands
smart.
For. It is smart. It's mathematical.
It's mathematical.
And you do like math.
Yeah, so. I mean like a math genius, although I'm only in 2nd grade.
Sure. Way to be humble. Okay.
What does humble mean?
Humble means you don't brag about yourself.
Oh, yay.
And you just bragged about yourself a whole bunch.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, I went all 3 days, and you went with me on Saturday, and then our whole family went on Sunday.
2 days.
Right, so you went 2 days. You got to go 2 days this year. So when you and I went, we were a Jedi and apprentice. So you were my Padawan.
Yeah.
And then we went on Sunday.
I was Chewie the Chewbacca, and my mom, Han Solo, was a little bigger than me.
Yeah, a little taller than you, so it was a little bit reversed. And you had a cute little porg that was attached to your shoulder.
Yeah, we safety pinned it there.
Yeah.
So. If you saw me and wondered how we got that there, then we safety pinned
I think I tweeted the picture, so people might have seen it.
Okay, yeah, I safety pinned it onto my shoulder.
Okay. So when we went, there was a lot of stuff to see. There was a lot of fun stuff.
A lot.
We got to see some of the artists. We got to see a whole bunch of other stuff. There was somebody that we were going to try to go see and get an autograph for, but we didn't end up doing it.
Wait, who?
Jess Harnell. Remember the voice actor?
Oh, yeah, Jess Harnell.
From your shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Animaniacs and your shows and other stuff.
Yeah, Adventures in Odyssey.
Yep.
Yeah,
you listen to those.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your favorite thing that you saw at C2E2? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What was your favorite thing you saw? What was your favorite costume you saw of all the people that were there? Because there were a lot of people in costume. And what was your favorite thing that you bought or wanted to buy? So what was your favorite thing you saw?
So my favorite thing that I saw was... I would say it was probably the dragon that I got named Violet.
Okay. Is that your favorite thing you bought or favorite thing you saw?
My both.
Okay.
Kind of. No. That was just the favorite thing that I saw, but I did buy it.
Okay, yeah. And you saw that last year too. Yeah. And you kind of wanted it then, but you didn't have as much money?
Yeah. Yeah. So I spent $57 in 2 days.
Well, yeah. That's okay that's okay for a kid. Yeah.
Wait, no it isn't.
I bought a lightsaber.
For like $80, which means...
Yeah, it's a little more than that, but it's fun. I could fight with it if I want to. Might get Mom one. Maybe we'll have lightsaber duels when you go to bed.
Dad, I've told you not to say that.
What?
No lightsaber fights after 8:30 p.m.
That's never been a rule in our house. That would be ridiculous. In our house? Are you kidding?
Okay, then I'm going upstairs to fight John right now.
Well, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I can.
You don't have fighting lightsabers. Mom and I will.
I have plastic ones, or I can just steal yours from you.
Oh, no. Can't steal mine.
Yeah.
So what was your other favorite thing you saw? Was there any of the art that you saw, or was there anything?
It was the unicorn heads.
Oh, they did have that was kind of funny. Those were kind of cute. It was a vendor, and I forget what the name of the place was, but they had, it looks like taxidermied animal heads.
Unicorn heads.
They had unicorn heads and narwhals. And tentacles and
I think the tentacles
platypus.
would make a really good coat hanger.
Yeah.
We should paint a coat hanger with.
But they look like kind of like how if you go into like a lodge and they have a deer head sticking out of the wall or something. It looked like that, but they were like unicorns and mystical animals. Okay.
Unicorns are not mystical. I have told you this a billion times, and nobody ever listens to me. They always say unicorns aren't real.
Okay, we're not getting into that. So you told me your favorite thing you bought at C2E2. What was your favorite costume you saw of all the different people you saw?
Can I count Sunday?
Sure.
Okay. I think it was Miss Jessie's costume. That was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was her costume?
Her costume was, I don't know the person. I'm not a nerd.
From, it was from the Legend of Zelda.
I call it
game?
The Adventures of Zelda.
Well, right.
He goes on adventures.
The Legend of Zelda game, she was the little blue fairy Navi.
Yeah, and she elaborated.
She elaborated on it. Yeah, she came up with a costume.
It was a blue dot in the game, I guess.
So she came up with what she thought Navi might look like.
And that was really good.
It was really cool. Yeah.
And Brian had Link.
Yeah, it was Link from Link to the Past with the pink hair.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Yeah, that was Jessie's costume. Was the hey, listen. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. What was my favorite thing? I always like to go through the artist alley and see all the art, all the stuff that people do. And I was able to get a sketch from one of them. His name was Yale Stewart, and he does the JL8 comic that was on the internet. That was like the Justice League people, but when they're in 3rd grade. It's really cute. So I got him to do a Rocketeer picture.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was really cool.
And I think one of my favorite costumes I saw might have been the person who did the Captain America Rocketeer. Yeah. Like, that was pretty cool. Yeah. But they had some other cool Star Wars stuff, too. And what we were... Let's see. And you were Chewie, and Mom was Han on Sunday.
Yeah, I was Chewie, and she was Big Han.
And I was Luke Skywalker, the Return of the Jedi, all-black Luke Skywalker.
It was just an easy costume.
It was easy. I just wanted to do easy because I was tired.
Yeah.
Friday, I was the Rock-a-Who. It was Rocketeer and Doctor Who.
Yeah, when Jenny, like...
And she's like, the Rock-a-Who?
Yeah, because the Rocketeer, he says to Jenny, his girlfriend, Jenny, I have something to tell you. I'm the Rocketeer. And she's like, the Rock-a-Who? So you did a Doctor Who and a Rocketeer all in one. You did the Doctor Who, like...
The coat.
The coat and the laser taser thingy that goes...
That would be the sonic screwdriver. Yeah.
Oh,
laser taser. That's a good name for it, too.
And you had your Rocketeer helmet on, which is over there.
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Nana, on Sunday, she was...
a Star Trek
person. So we were a bunch of Star Wars people walking around with a Star Trek person.
John was Superboy.
He was Superboy, yeah. He didn't want to do... Yeah. I don't think his Stormtrooper costume fit him anymore.
Yeah.
So
he was Superboy.
Superboy. All right, so I have one last question for you before we go. I don't think I said what my favorite things were. Oh, my favorite thing I bought was probably either the Rocketeer sketch or the lightsaber that I bought, because that was a lot of fun.
Choose a number between 1 and 10, and I'll tell you what you got.
This is like one of those things that you make with your hand. You're like, choose a number between 1 and 10. Choose a color. Choose a...
No.
No? Okay.
It's even numbers is one of them, and odd numbers are the other.
Okay,
so pick a number.
I like both, so I'm just going to stick with both.
Pick a number.
We have a movie we're going to go see next weekend.
Yeah, Shazam.
Shazam.
Shazam!
What are you most excited for to see in Shazam? You just think it's funny? Because of what we saw in the previews?
Yeah. He when he says Shazam and he goes into in the trailer, he goes into this place where there are people who are robbing, and he's really just like a teenager in a men's body. So he looks like a man, and he looks sophisticated, and like what he says sounds like just like really weird. Yeah. And when the robbers come, like they're going out, and he's like, "Hey, stop it!" And then He goes in and buys a candy bar.
There was another scene where he and his friend, I think, are in like a toy store. I saw it in one of the trailers. It's a new trailer that just came out, so you haven't seen it yet. And there's a scene where he and his buddy are in like a toy store, and all of a sudden the bad guy shows up, like supervillain bad guy shows up, and his friend yells, "It's a supervillain!" And he turns around, and the shelf next to him has a bunch of Batman toys, and he grabs the Batman, and the toy goes, "I'm Batman!" And he swings it around and throws it at the supervillain and goes, "Get him, Batman!" So it looks like it's going to be funny.
Okay.
So we're going to go see that on Saturday.
Yay!
So maybe we'll do another quick show about Shazam after we do that one.
Yay!
Would you come back and talk about Shazam?
Yes.
Okay.
Me only. Not
you
Jack.
only? We'll see. Because he's going to get to see it too, so we might do.
Aww.
Well, we can share with everyone.
No, we can't.
Captain Marvel would share with everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, she would.
Yes, she would.
Yes, she would.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for Captain Marvel. So thank you for joining us. If you want to find out more about the show, we're on 30podcast.com, on Twitter at 30podcast. Our next episode's coming up. We will probably try to do a Shazam show sometime in April. I don't know exactly when just yet.
Well,
but
April starts tomorrow, which means it's April Fool's Day tomorrow.
I know.
And you're going to be surprised.
Don't prank me. But coming up over the next few weeks, we have episodes for My Left Foot, UHF, Dead Poets Society, Driving Miss Daisy, and sometime we'll have a Shazam one. I don't know.
Shazam.
Shazam.
I'm hoping that it'll turn into a grown-up when I do this. Shazam. Now I'm just standing on a ladder.
Now you're just standing on a stool, on a ladder. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it. So until next time, thank you for coming here with me, Nora.
Yeah.
We'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you, like, really soon, because I live with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Are you leaving already?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye, fans.
Uh-huh.
Goodbye.
Yeah, for the Nora fan club. Okay. See ya. All right. Be excellent to each other. Go watch some good movies. We'll see you back here next time.